I spent 3 hours making the perfect dinner. Homemade pasta with that cream sauce Quinn always raved about, garlic bread from scratch, even lit the good candles I'd been saving for something special. Tonight felt special. After 7 years of working 2 jobs, living in a studio apartment that smelled like my neighbor's cat, and eating ramen 4 nights a week, I finally had enough saved for a down payment on a real home. My name is Louisa, and I'm 33 years old. I've been planning this dinner for weeks, rehearsing how I'd tell my family about the condo I'd been eyeing downtown, the one with the balcony and the kitchen island I could actually cook on instead of this hot plate situation I'd been dealing with since college. "This looks amazing, Lou," Quinn said, settling into my only decent chair while Clay helped himself to wine. My sister looked perfect as always, hair freshly highlighted, designer jeans that probably cost more than my monthly grocery budget. "You really went all out." Mom and Dad squeezed onto my tiny couch, Mom clutching her purse like she was afraid my poverty might be contagious. "The apartment looks cozy," she said, which was Mom speak for, "This place is a dump." "So," I started, trying to keep my voice steady, "I actually have some news to share." "Actually, honey," Dad interrupted, "we have something to discuss with you too." The way he said it made my stomach drop. Quinn was suddenly very interested in her pasta, twirling it around her fork without eating. Clay cleared his throat and reached for more wine. "What's going on?" I asked. Mom and Dad exchanged one of those looks, the kind married people give each other when they've rehearsed a conversation. "Well," Mom began, "Quinn and Clay have been looking at renovating their kitchen." "It's falling apart," Quinn added quickly. "The cabinets are from the 80s, the countertops are cracked, and honestly, it's embarrassing when people come over." I nodded, confused. "Okay, that's great that you're updating it. The thing is," Dad said, "it's expensive, really expensive, and with the kids' activities and Clay's student loans, oh no, no. We were hoping," Mom continued, "that maybe you could help out, as a family investment." "Help out how?" But I already knew. The careful way they were all looking at me, the rehearsed timing of this conversation, the fact that they'd chosen to have it here instead of at Quinn's house with her perfect dining room. "We know you've been saving money," Quinn said, and her voice had that little tremor she got when she wanted something. "And you don't have kids, or a mortgage, or anything really tying you down. It would mean so much to us." "How much?" I managed to ask. 40,000, Clay said quietly. The number hit me like a physical blow. $40,000. Almost exactly what I had saved. That's everything I have." "We know it's a lot to ask," Dad said, "but Quinn has children to think about. A nice kitchen adds value to the house, and someday that'll benefit the grandkids. It's really an investment in the family's future." "What about my future?" The words came out sharper than I intended. Mom's face softened into that expression she used when she thought I was being difficult. "Honey, you're young and single. You have time to save again. Quinn's at a different stage of life." "I'm 33. "Exactly," Quinn said, reaching across the table to squeeze my hand. "You have so much freedom. No husband, no kids, no real responsibilities. You can rebuild your savings in a few years." I stared at her perfectly manicured nails on my work-roughened hands. "I was going to buy a condo." "A condo?" Dad frowned. "Why would you need a whole condo? This place is fine for someone in your situation." "My situation?" "You know what he means," Mom said gently. "You're independent. You don't need much space. Quinn has a family to consider." I looked around the table at these people I'd loved my whole life. At Quinn, who'd never worked a day since she got married. At my parents, who'd helped her with her wedding, her down payment, her car when it broke down. At Clay, who couldn't even meet my eyes. "I need to think about it," I said. "Of course," Quinn said, but she was already smiling. "Take all the time you need. We're just so grateful to have someone like you in our corner." They left an hour later, chattering about cabinet styles and granite versus quartz. Quinn hugged me extra tight at the door. "You're the best sister in the world," she whispered. "I don't know what I'd do without you." I closed the door behind them and slid down against it until I was sitting on my cheap linoleum floor. The candles were still burning, casting shadows on the walls of my tiny apartment. The apartment I'd been so desperate to escape. I sat there until the candles burned out, thinking about 7 years of double shifts and skipped meals and saying no to every invitation because I couldn't afford it. 7 years of building something that was mine. They all left that night planning a kitchen. I laid awake planning freedom. The next morning, Quinn called before I'd even finished my coffee. "Lou, I couldn't sleep last night thinking about our conversation. I know it's a huge ask, but I'll do it," I said, cutting her off. Silence. Then a squeal that nearly burst my eardrum. "Oh my God, really? Lou, you're incredible! I'm literally crying right now. Clay! Clay!" She said yes. I heard Clay's muffled voice in the background. Then Quinn was back. "We're going to make this so beautiful. You have to come see the inspiration boards I made. When can you transfer the money? The contractor wants to start next week." "I need a few days to move things around," I lied smoothly. "You know how banks are with large transfers." Of course. "Oh, Lou, I love you so much. You're saving our lives here." After she hung up, I sat staring at my phone. Then I opened my laptop and started typing, "Real estate agents near me." By lunch, I had appointments with 3 different realtors. By evening, I was texting Quinn about cabinet hardware, like nothing had changed. "What do you think about brushed gold versus matte black?" I sent, along with a screenshot from some design website. "OMG, the gold. So elegant. You have such good taste." I screenshot her response and saved it. Evidence of my supposed involvement in this charade. The family group chat lit up over the next few days. Mom sharing Pinterest boards, Dad sending links to appliance sales, Quinn posting photos of her current kitchen with captions like "soon to be gone." And then there was the Instagram post. Quinn had taken a selfie in her kitchen, looking gorgeous and slightly sad, with the caption, "Sometimes you don't realize how blessed you are until someone shows you what real love looks like. My sister Louisa is literally giving up her savings to help us create the heart of our home. I don't deserve her, but I'm so grateful. Blessed ba family. Ta sister. Renovation. Grateful, my rock." 47 likes in the first hour. Comments pouring in about what an amazing sister I was, how lucky Quinn was, how beautiful their family was. My hands were shaking when I called the first realtor. "Hi, this is Louisa. We spoke yesterday about viewing properties." Roman had a voice like warm honey and the patience of a saint. "Absolutely. I have 3 places that match your criteria. When would you like to start?" "Today. Now, if possible." "I like your enthusiasm. Meet me at 412 Maple Street in an hour?" The first condo was too dark. The second had a weird smell I couldn't identify. But the third one, God, the third one was perfect. Hardwood floors, huge windows, a kitchen island I could actually use, a balcony overlooking the street where I could drink coffee and watch the world wake up. "It's in your price range," Roman said, watching me run my hands along the granite countertops. "Good bones, solid building management. You interested?" "Very. Great. Let me get the paperwork started. You'll need proof of funds, employment verification, the usual stuff." While he made calls, I stood on the balcony and imagined my life here. No more listening to my neighbor's TV through paper-thin walls. No more hot plate dinners. No more family meetings about what I should do with my money. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom. "Saw Quinn's post. So proud of you for stepping up. Dad and I raised you right. Another from Dad. Your mother and I were talking. Maybe after the kitchen is done, you could help Quinn with the kids' bathroom too. Family takes care of family. I deleted both messages without responding. That evening, Quinn called again. Lou, I've been thinking, since you're being so generous with the kitchen, maybe you could stay with us during the renovation. Help with the kids while everything's torn up. It would save you rent money. Stay with you? Just for a few months. The kids would love having Aunt Lou around, and honestly, Clay and I could use the help. 2 birds, 1 stone, you know? I closed my eyes. Let me think about it. You're the best. Oh, and Mom mentioned maybe looking at the upstairs bathroom next year. Nothing major, just updating the shower and vanity. We'll talk about it after the kitchen's done. After she hung up, I sat in my tiny apartment and looked around. At the stack of bills on my counter. At the couch I'd bought used 5 years ago. At the single window that faced a brick wall. Then I looked at the real estate listings still open on my laptop. At the photos of my perfect condo, with its perfect kitchen and perfect balcony. I picked up my phone and called Roman. I want to put in an offer, I said. Full asking price. Wow, that was fast. You sure? I've never been more sure of anything in my life. Quinn posted another Instagram story that night. A boomerang of her spinning in her old kitchen with the caption, "Countdown to my dream space, thanks to my angel sister." I watched it 3 times, then opened my banking app and started the pre-approval process for my mortgage. They could keep planning their kitchen. I had bigger plans. Roman called me at work the next day. Good news! Your offer was accepted. The sellers love that you can close quickly, and you're pre-approved. Congratulations, you're going to be a homeowner. I ducked into the supply closet to take the call, my heart hammering. When can we do the inspection? How's Saturday morning? I know a great inspector, very thorough. Perfect. I hung up and stared at the shelves of office supplies, trying to process that I'd just bought a home. My phone immediately rang again. Lou! Quinn's voice was bright and manic. Emergency system meeting. Can you come over tonight? The contractor found some issues. What kind of issues? Just come over. Bring wine. Quinn's house was chaos when I arrived. Fabric samples scattered across her dining table, paint chips taped to every wall, her kids running around screaming about something. Clay was nowhere to be seen. He's working late again, Quinn said, pouring herself a generous glass of the wine I'd brought. Anyway, look at this. She shoved a piece of paper at me. A contractor's estimate, with a lot of zeros. 65,000, I read. I know, but Lou, once he started looking at everything, he found all these problems. The electrical needs updating, there's water damage behind the sink, and the floor underneath isn't level. We can't just do a cosmetic renovation. Quinn, that's 25,000 more than... I know what we agreed on. Her voice got sharp. But this is reality. Houses are expensive. You wouldn't understand because you've never owned one. The words hit like a slap. Right, because I've been too busy saving money to give to you. That's not what I meant. She softened immediately. Lou, I'm sorry. I'm just stressed. The kids are driving me crazy. Clay's never home, and now this. I need my sister right now. What about a different contractor? A second opinion? This guy is the best. Mom and Dad recommended him. He did their bathroom last year. Of course they did. Quinn, I don't have $65,000, but you could get it, right? A loan or something? You have good credit, and once the kitchen's done, the house value will go up. It's an investment. I stared at her. You want me to go into debt for your kitchen? It's not just my kitchen. It's the family gathering place, where we'll have Christmas morning with the kids, where Mom will teach them to bake cookies. You're investing in memories, Lou. Her youngest ran through the room chasing the dog, knocking over a stack of tile samples. Quinn didn't even look up. "I need to think about it," I said. "Don't think too long. The contractor has other jobs lined up." I left Quinn's house and drove straight to the condo. Roman had given me the lockbox code so I could visit whenever I wanted. I let myself in and stood in the empty living room, moonlight streaming through those perfect windows. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom. "Quinn told us about the extra costs. We know it's a lot, but think about how much this means to her. And to us. Family first, honey." I turned my phone face down and walked onto the balcony. The street was quiet, just a few cars passing by. Normal people living normal lives, not being guilted into bankruptcy by their relatives. At work Monday, I was filling out inspection paperwork when Lena from accounting stopped by my desk. "You look different," she said. "Good different, like you're planning something." Lena was one of those people who noticed everything but never gossiped. We'd worked together for 3 years and barely talked beyond pleasantries, but something about her felt safe. "Just tired," I said. My phone rang. Mum's contact photo filled the screen. "Aren't you going to answer that?" Lena asked. I declined the call. "Not right now." "Good for you." I looked up at her, surprised. "What?" "Nothing. Just good for you." She started to walk away, then turned back. "You know, Louisa, you get to choose you. Nobody else will." The words hit me like lightning. I stared at her retreating figure, then at my phone as it started ringing again. This time it was Quinn. I declined that call too. That afternoon, Roman texted, "Inspector found a few minor things, but overall the place is solid. You're getting a great condo. Ready to move forward?" I was sitting in my car outside Quinn's house, watching her through the window as she showed fabric samples to Mom. They were both laughing, probably planning how to spend more of my money. "Yes," I texted back. "Let's do this." "Excellent. I'll send the final paperwork tonight. Closing is scheduled for next Friday." Next Friday. In 5 days, I'd own a home. A real home with my name on the deed, and nobody else's opinion mattering. My phone rang again. "Quinn, 3rd time today." This time, I turned it off completely. Through the window, I watched Quinn check her phone, frown, then dial again. When it went straight to voicemail, she looked confused, like she couldn't comprehend a world where I didn't immediately answer her calls. I started my car and drove home to my tiny apartment, already mentally packing boxes. Friday morning, I sat in Roman's office, signing paper after paper. Purchase agreement, mortgage documents, insurance forms. Each signature felt like a small act of rebellion. "Congratulations," Roman said, sliding the keys across his desk. "You're officially a homeowner." I picked up the keys, and for the first time in weeks, I smiled. Really smiled. "Thank you for everything." "My pleasure. You were the easiest client I've had all year. No drama, no cold feet, just pure determination." If only he knew about the drama I was avoiding. My phone had been buzzing all morning. 17 missed calls from Quinn, 12 from Mom, 4 from Dad. I'd turned off notifications, but the screen still lit up every few minutes. "Popular lady," Roman observed. Something like that. I drove straight to the condo, my condo, and let myself in. The afternoon light was streaming through the windows, making everything golden. I walked through each room slowly, running my hands along the walls, opening every cabinet and closet. In the master bedroom, I stood in front of the walk-in closet and laughed out loud. I could fit my entire current wardrobe in one corner and still have room for the clothes I'd always wanted but never bought, because I was saving every penny. My phone rang again. This time it was Clay. Against my better judgment, I answered. "Lou, thank God. Quinn's been trying to reach you all day." "I've been busy." "Look, I know the extra money is a lot to ask, but maybe we could work something out. A payment plan or something? Clay, the thing is, Quinn already ordered the cabinets. She was so excited after you agreed to help, and the contractor said we needed to move fast to get the good wood. They're custom, so we can't return them. I sat down hard on the bedroom floor. She ordered cabinets without the money. She was sure you'd figure something out. You always do. How much did she spend? Silence. Then, 15,000, just for the cabinets. $15,000 she doesn't have. Well, technically we have it now, right? Since you're helping? I closed my eyes. Clay, I need to tell you something. What? I bought a condo, today, with the money Quinn thinks I'm giving her. The silence stretched so long I thought he'd hung up. You what? I bought a home. The money's gone. But Quinn ordered the cabinets. The contractor starts Monday. We put down deposits. That sounds like a Quinn problem. Lou, you can't be serious. You agreed to help. We're counting on you. I never agreed to $65,000. And I definitely never agreed to go into debt for Quinn's Instagram kitchen. Instagram kitchen? What are you talking about? You really don't know? I stood up and walked to the window. She's planning to film content in the new kitchen, for a YouTube channel, she told me herself. Another long pause. What? Ask her about it, Clay. Ask her what she's really planning to do with that perfect kitchen. I hung up and immediately turned my phone off. An hour later, I was at Target buying cleaning supplies when I remembered something. Back at my old apartment, I dug through the box of childhood stuff I kept under my bed. School reports, old photos, and there it was. A letter from the college financial aid office. Dear Louisa, it read, we regret to inform you that your scholarship has been reassigned due to family financial hardship documentation submitted by your parents. I'd been 17 when this letter came. Mom had sat me down and explained that Quinn was pregnant and needed help with medical bills. The scholarship money, my scholarship money, had to go to family first. I could take out loans, work my way through school. Quinn needed immediate help. I'd never questioned it, just accepted that my dreams came second to Quinn's emergencies. I took a photo of the letter and saved it to my phone. Sunday morning, I was painting the accent wall in my new bedroom when someone knocked on my door. Through the peephole, I saw Clay standing in the hallway, looking miserable. Lou, please, we need to talk. I opened the door but didn't invite him in. Nice place, he said, looking past me. Really nice. Thank you. Quinn doesn't know I'm here. She's not handling this well. I imagine not. The thing is, you were right, about the YouTube thing. She's been planning this whole lifestyle brand around being the perfect mom with the perfect kitchen. She already has sponsors lined up. I leaned against the door frame. Sponsors? Kitchen appliance companies, cabinet makers. She was going to make money off the renovation. A lot of money. Using my $40,000 as startup capital. She didn't see it that way. She thought you'd be happy to be part of something bigger. Part of her business plan, you mean? Clay ran his hands through his hair. I'm sorry, Lou. I should have said something earlier. I should have stopped this. Yes, you should have. Is there any way, any possibility you could still help? Even partially? I looked at him standing there in my doorway, in my home that I'd bought with my money that I'd saved with my work. No, Clay, there isn't. I closed the door and went back to painting my wall the exact shade of blue I'd always wanted. The furniture shopping started as a necessity and became therapy. I spent my lunch breaks at different stores, running my hands over dining tables I could actually afford, testing couches that would fit perfectly in my living room. At West Elm, I found a coffee table that made me stupidly happy. Real wood, simple lines, exactly what I'd pictured for years. The salesperson, a college kid with purple hair, helped me arrange delivery. "First place?" she asked. "How'd you know?" "You keep taking pictures of everything, and you look like you're about to cry, but in a good way." She wasn't wrong. I'd been sleeping better than I had in months, even on my old mattress in my tiny apartment. Every morning I woke up knowing I had somewhere to go that was mine. My phone stayed off most of the time now. When I did turn it on, the messages were getting more desperate. "Quinn, Lou, please call me. We need to fix this." "Mom, your sister is beside herself. This isn't like you." "Dad, Louisa, call home immediately." Quinn again, "I'm coming to your apartment if you don't answer." I deleted them all and went back to shopping. At the mattress store, I was testing a queen-size bed when someone said my name. "Louisa, holy shit, is that you?" I turned around and there was Dexter, my ex from 3 years ago. Same messy brown hair, same crooked smile that used to make me forget why I was mad at him. "Hey, Dex. Wow, you look different. Good different." He gestured at the mattress. "Upgrading the sleep situation?" "Something like that. Mind if I ask what happened to the whole saving every penny thing? You used to get anxiety attacks when we went out to dinner. The old me would have been embarrassed. The old me would have made excuses about being practical and responsible. The new me just shrugged. I figured out what I was saving for, which was freedom." He laughed, but not meanly. "That's very zen of you. Good for you, Lou." "Really?" The salesperson approached with paperwork, and Dexter stepped back. "I should let you get back to your shopping. But hey, if you ever want to grab coffee and tell me about this mysterious transformation, you have my number." After he left, I realized I was smiling. Not because I wanted to call him. Dexter had broken up with me because I was too focused on money and not focused enough on living. But because for the first time, someone from my past had seen me making a choice for myself and thought it was good. The mattress was delivered to my condo that Thursday. I spent an hour just lying on it in the empty bedroom, staring at the ceiling and listening to the sounds of my new neighborhood. Kids playing in the courtyard, someone practicing piano, normal life happening around me. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "This is Quinn. I'm using Clay's phone because you blocked mine. We need to talk. The contractor starts Monday and we're out $15,000 if this doesn't happen. Please." I stared at the message for a long time. Then I typed back, "Not my problem. Lou, please, I'm begging you. I'll pay you back." "With what money?" "I'll get a job. I'll figure it out." "You should have figured it out before you spent money you didn't have." I made a mistake. People make mistakes. I sat up on my new mattress and typed carefully. "No, Quinn. You made a plan. A plan that involved spending my money without asking. That's not a mistake. That's theft." My phone rang immediately. Clay's number. "Don't hang up," Quinn's voice said when I answered. "Please just listen." "I'm listening. I know I messed up. I know I should have asked before ordering anything. But Lou, this is my family we're talking about. My kids. They're going to lose their home if we can't pay the contractor." "You're not going to lose your home over a kitchen renovation. The deposits, the cancellation fees, the penalties. It's going to bankrupt us. Clay doesn't know how bad it is. Then maybe you should tell your husband the truth instead of calling me." "I can't. He'll leave me. He's already talking about how irresponsible I've been." I walked to my bedroom window and looked out at the street. A woman was walking her dog, stopping to let it sniff every tree. Simple. Peaceful. "Quinn, do you remember when I was 17 and lost my scholarship?" What? What does that have to do with anything? Do you remember why I lost it? Silence. Because Mom and Dad told the college you needed medical money for your pregnancy. They took my college fund and gave it to you. Lou, that was different. I was scared and young and... I was 17. I worked 3 jobs through college because of that. I've been working 3 jobs ever since. But you turned out fine. You're strong and independent and... I turned out tired, Quinn. I turned out alone. And I'm done. I hung up and turned my phone off. Saturday morning, I was hanging pictures in my living room when I realized something. The silence wasn't empty anymore. It was full of possibility. I had a home. I had a future. And for the first time in my adult life, both of them belonged entirely to me. Monday morning, I was making coffee in my new kitchen when I decided it was time. I'd been living in my condo for 2 weeks, sneaking around like I was doing something wrong. But I wasn't the one who'd lied or manipulated or spent money that didn't exist. I took a selfie holding my keys in front of my door, the brass numbers 412 clearly visible behind me. I looked happy, genuinely, radiantly happy. I opened the family group chat for the first time in weeks and typed, "Housewarming party TBD. Don't worry, I won't ask you to pay for it." Then I hit send and attached the photo. My phone started ringing within 30 seconds. Quinn's contact photo filled the screen, a picture of us from last Christmas where she was hugging me tight and I was smiling like an idiot. I let it ring. It stopped, then immediately started again. This time I answered. "What the hell is this?" Quinn was screaming so loud I had to hold the phone away from my ear. "What did you do?" "I bought a home." "With my money!" "With my money, Quinn. Money I saved working 2 jobs for 7 years. You promised you would help me." "I promised to think about it. I thought about it. I decided not to." She was crying now, ugly sobbing that made her words almost incomprehensible. "Lou, you don't understand. The contractor is here. Right now. He's tearing out my kitchen and I can't pay him." "Then you should call him off." "I can't. The cabinets are already ordered. The permits are pulled. There's a dumpster in my driveway. What am I supposed to tell him?" "Tell him the truth. That you spent money you didn't have on a kitchen you couldn't afford." "This is insane. You're being insane. Mom, get on the phone." I heard shuffling, then Mom's voice, tight with barely controlled fury. "Louisa Marie, what have you done?" "I bought a condo, Mom, like I told you I was planning to do." "You were supposed to help your sister." "No, I was supposed to give up my future so Quinn could have a prettier kitchen. I chose not to." "You chose to be selfish." "I chose to be smart." Dad's voice joined the call. "Louisa, this is unacceptable. Your sister has children to think about. And I have myself to think about." "That's not how family works," Mom said. "Family sacrifices for each other." "Really? When has Quinn ever sacrificed anything for me?" Silence. "When has anyone in this family ever sacrificed anything for me?" "We raised you," Dad said. "We fed you and clothed you and..." "You did the bare minimum required by law. Congratulations." Quinn grabbed the phone back. "Lou, please, I'm begging you. I'll do anything. I'll pay you back. "How? You don't have a job." "I'll get one." "Doing what? You haven't worked in 12 years." "I'll figure it out. Please don't do this to me." I walked to my living room window and looked out at my view. My beautiful, peaceful view that nobody could take away from me. "I'm not doing anything to you, Quinn. I'm doing something for me." I hung up. Within minutes, my phone was buzzing with individual calls. Mom, Dad, Quinn again. I declined them all. Then Clay called. "Lou, I need to tell you something." "What now?" "Quinn lied about the YouTube thing." I sat down on my new couch. "What do you mean?" "It's not just a lifestyle channel. She's been talking to production companies, reality TV people. They want to film the renovation, make it into a show about family and home and sacrifice. Sacrifice. She was going to be the star. The perfect mom with the perfect kitchen, talking about how her amazing sister gave up everything to make her dreams come true. My hands were shaking. She was going to put me on TV. As the selfless sister who worked 2 jobs to fund her family's happiness. The producers loved the angle. Without asking me. She said you'd be thrilled, that you'd love being part of something bigger. I laughed, but it came out bitter. Part of her story, you mean? Lou, I'm sorry. I should have told you weeks ago. I should have stopped this whole thing. Why didn't you? Because I wanted the kitchen too, and I thought maybe she was right, that you didn't really need the money like we did. Need it for what? For life, for a real life, kids and a house and all the things that matter. Those things matter to you, Clay. They don't matter to me. I know that now, and I'm sorry. After he hung up, I sat in my quiet living room and tried to process what I'd just learned. Quinn hadn't just wanted my money. She'd wanted to turn my sacrifice into entertainment, to profit off my pain while painting herself as the deserving recipient of my generosity. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. This is Mom. I'm very disappointed in you. Your sister is having a breakdown and it's your fault. I typed back, Tell Quinn I said good luck with the TV show. Then I blocked the number, turned off my phone, and made myself dinner in my beautiful kitchen that belonged to nobody but me. The consequences came fast and brutal. Tuesday morning, I got a text from Quinn. The kid's birthday party is this weekend. Don't come. I stared at the message. Emma was turning 7, Jake was turning 5. I'd been planning their parties since they were born. Always the aunt who showed up with the perfect gifts and helped clean up afterward. I texted back, Fine. Fine? That's all you have to say? You're missing your niece and nephew's birthday because you're being petty. I'm not missing anything. You uninvited me. Because you stole from us. I stole my own money. She didn't respond. Wednesday, Dad called from his office. I could hear the traffic outside his window. Louisa, this has gone far enough. You're breaking this family apart. I bought a condo, Dad. How does that break anything? Your sister is devastated. Your mother hasn't slept in days. The grandchildren are asking why Aunt Lou isn't coming to their party. Ask Quinn why she uninvited me. She's hurt. She trusted you, and you betrayed that trust. She trusted me to give her $40,000 I never promised her. You led her to believe. I led her to believe nothing. She assumed. She planned. She spent money she didn't have, and now she wants me to fix it. That's what family does. No, Dad, that's what I do. What has Quinn ever done for me? Silence. What has anyone in this family ever done for me that wasn't the bare minimum? We love you. You love what I provide. There's a difference. I hung up. Thursday, Mom showed up at my office. Lena came to get me from the break room. There's a woman here asking for you. Says she's your mother. She looks intense. Mom was standing by the reception desk in her good coat, the one she wore to church and parent-teacher conferences. Her face was tight with controlled rage. We need to talk, she said. I'm at work. Then we'll talk here. The receptionist was pretending not to listen, but I could see her ears practically twitching. I led Mom to the small conference room we used for client meetings. Sit down, Mom said, like I was still 12 years old. I'll stand. Louisa, what you're doing is cruel. Quinn called me crying this morning because Emma asked why you don't love them anymore. Quinn told a 7-year-old that I don't love her? She's trying to explain why you're not coming to the party, why you're punishing innocent children for adult problems. I'm not punishing anyone. Quinn uninvited me. Because you hurt her. You made her look foolish in front of the contractor, in front of the neighbors. She had to cancel everything. She made herself look foolish by spending money she didn't have. Mom's voice got that edge it always had when she was about to say something meant to cut deep. You know what I think? I think you're jealous. You're jealous that Quinn has a family and a husband and a real life, and you have nothing but a job and an empty apartment. I have a home now, a beautiful home that I bought with my own money. You have a box to hide in because you can't handle real relationships, real responsibility. Real responsibility like funding other people's fantasies? Like taking care of family when they need you. I looked at my mother standing there in her good coat, her face twisted with disappointment, and something inside me finally snapped. When have you ever taken care of me, Mom? When I lost my scholarship? When I worked 3 jobs through college? When I lived on ramen for years so I could save money? When did you ever ask if I needed help? You never asked. Because I knew the answer. I knew that Quinn's needs would always come first. Quinn's pregnancy, Quinn's wedding, Quinn's house, Quinn's kitchen, Quinn's dreams. What about mine? You don't have children, so I don't matter? That's not what I said. It's exactly what you said. It's what you've always said. Quinn matters because she reproduced. I don't matter because I chose differently. Mom's face was red now. You're being dramatic. Am I? Tell me one time, Mom. One time when you chose me over Quinn. One time when my needs came first. She opened her mouth, then closed it. You can't. Can you? Quinn needed more help. Quinn needed to learn to stand on her own feet. Instead, you taught her that other people would always bail her out. Well, congratulations. You created a monster. Don't you dare talk about your sister that way. My sister is a manipulative, entitled brat who thinks the world owes her everything, and you made her that way. Mum stepped back like I'd slapped her. I don't know who you are anymore. I'm the daughter who finally figured out that family isn't supposed to be a one-way street. She left without another word. That evening, I sat in my living room with a glass of wine and looked around at my space. My furniture, my books, my life. The silence wasn't empty anymore. It was peaceful. Maybe they were never my family, just my creditors, and I was finally debt-free. The silence lasted 3 weeks. No calls, no texts, no angry voicemails. It was like my family had collectively decided I no longer existed. At first, I kept checking my phone, expecting the usual barrage of guilt and manipulation. But there was nothing. I filled the quiet with life. Real life. Saturday morning, I was watering the small herb garden I'd started on my balcony when my neighbor from across the hall knocked on my door. Mrs. Patterson, 70-something with bright silver hair and a laugh that could be heard 3 floors down. I'm making too much lasagna again, she said, holding a covered dish. You interested? That's really sweet, but you don't have to. Honey, I've been watching you move in here for weeks. You work too much and eat too little. Let an old lady feed you. We ate on my balcony, talking about everything and nothing. She told me about her late husband, her garden club, her grandson who was studying abroad. Normal conversation with someone who didn't want anything from me except company. You seem different from when you first moved in, she said, helping herself to more salad. Different how? Lighter. Like you were carrying something heavy and finally put it down. She wasn't wrong. Monday at work, Lena stopped by my desk with coffee and a card. What's this for? Open it. Inside was a simple congratulations card with a handwritten note. For choosing yourself. It takes courage. I'm proud of you. I looked up at her, surprised to feel tears in my eyes. How did you know? I didn't know the details, but I could see you were fighting something, and then one day you weren't fighting anymore. You were just free. That afternoon, Clay called. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Lou? Please don't hang up. What do you want, Clay? I wanted to tell you what happened with the kitchen. I don't need to know. Yes, you do, because you were right about everything. I sat down at my kitchen table, the one I'd picked out myself and paid for with my own money. Quinn had to cancel the renovation. The contractor kept the deposits, obviously. But here's the thing. When she called the TV people to tell them the project was off, they said they were never really interested anyway. What? It was all in her head, Lou. She'd had one phone call with some assistant who said they'd keep her in mind for future projects. That was it. No contracts, no commitments, nothing. I closed my eyes. So she destroyed our relationship over a fantasy. Pretty much. And when I confronted her about lying to me, about the YouTube channel, about all of it, she said she was just trying to make something of herself, that she felt useless being a stay-at-home mom and wanted to matter. She could have gotten a job. That's what I said. She could have taken classes, volunteered, done anything that didn't involve spending money we didn't have. What happens now? I don't know. We're in counseling. She's looking for work, finally. The kids keep asking about you. Clay, I'm not asking you to forgive her, or any of us. I just wanted you to know that you were right, about everything. After he hung up, I sat in my kitchen and tried to feel something. Vindication, maybe, or satisfaction. But all I felt was tired. Tired of their drama, their chaos, their endless need for someone else to fix their problems. I made dinner, real dinner, not takeout or frozen meals, and ate it while reading a book I'd bought just because I wanted to. No guilt about the money, no anxiety about what I should be saving for instead. Later, I was hanging a new piece of art in my bedroom when I found the letter. The one from college, about my lost scholarship. I'd stuck it in my purse weeks ago and forgotten about it. I looked at it for a long time, then walked to my kitchen and held it over the sink. The flame from my lighter caught the corner, and I watched 17 years of resentment turn to ash. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. This is Emma. Daddy gave me his phone. I miss you, Aunt Lou. Do you miss me? I stared at the message, my heart breaking a little. Then I typed back, I miss you too, sweetheart. Maybe we can have a play date soon. Just you and me. Can we go to the zoo? We can go anywhere you want. I wasn't ready to forgive Quinn, or my parents, or anyone else who'd spent years treating me like an ATM with feelings. But Emma and Jake were innocent in all this. They deserved better than being used as weapons in their mother's war. I looked around my condo, my home, and smiled. The walls were painted the colors I wanted. The furniture was arranged exactly how I liked it. The silence was mine to fill, or not fill, as I chose. For the first time in my life, I didn't owe anyone a damn thing, and that felt like home.